ever just want to chuck your phone across the room? Because ordering a pizza shouldn't feel like launching a rocket.
Oh, tell me about it.
We've all been there. And that's what we're diving into today. Those moments that make customers want to scream into the void, the dreaded customer pain points.
Exactly. And, businesses spend so much time figuring out what customers want,
Yeah.
but understanding their points, well, that's like having a secret weapon.
Ooh, I like that. A secret weapon. So give it to me straight. What exactly is a customer pain point?
So it's anything at all that causes friction in the customer experience. Like that moment when a customer thinks, ugh, this is way harder than it should be. Like, why am I jumping through hoops for this?
Okay, yeah, those ugh moments. I've definitely had a few.
Right. And they really stick with you.
You do. It's like being stuck on hold forever listening to that elevator music on repeat.
Uh.
You start questioning all your life choices.
And it's not just about the wasted time, though. That's definitely part of it. It's the feeling it gives you, like you're being ignored.
Completely.
Like you're not important.
Yeah.
And studies show that when customers feel ignored, they feel powerless, and that can really damage their view of a company.
Wow, so it's more than just a minor annoyance then. It's like this little, betrayal of trust or something.
Exactly. And it's not limited to just being stuck on hold. Think about waiting in those painfully slow service queues or sending an email and then waiting days for a simple reply.
Ugh, the worst.
All of these fall under the category of, we call it the waiting game, a major, major pain point for a customer.
It really is. And you know what else makes me want to pull my hair out? Those online forms that feel like they were designed by a committee of bureaucrats who just love red tape.
Oh, those are the worst. Like, why are there so many steps? We call those process nightmares. Things like overly complicated websites, ordering systems that require a degree in rocket science. They all just create so much friction, and customers, well, they just give up.
Oh, I've abandoned so many online shopping carts because of that.
Yeah.
Is there a psychological reason why complex processes make us want to just shut down?
There is. It's something called cognitive overload.
Hmm.
Basically, our brains have a limit for how much information we can process at once.
Makes sense.
And when we hit that limit, we get overwhelmed.
Right.
And what happens when we get overwhelmed? We disengage, we abandon the task, and sometimes we even abandon the business altogether.
So they're actually losing customers because their processes are too confusing. Ouch.
Yeah, it's a tough reality. But the good news is, once you understand these pain points, you can actually start to address them.
Okay, now that is good news.
And that's where things get really interesting.
You know what really gets me? It's like when you try to get help from a company and it feels like you're talking to a wall.
Ugh, the worst.
Like they just don't get you,
Absolutely. That feeling of being totally misunderstood or even worse, completely ignored. That's a recipe for disaster. And that brings us to another big pain point. We call them communication breakdowns.
Okay, communication breakdowns, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what actually causes these breakdowns? What's going on there?
Well, a lot of time it comes down to, inconsistency, Yeah. And lack of clarity.
Okay.
Oh, and lack of empathy. You can just tell they don't care.
Yeah.
For example, imagine you see something on a company's website, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is perfect. But then you call customer service to ask a simple question about it, like about shipping or something.
Right.
And they have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it's the worst. I feel like, am I even on the same planet as this company?
Exactly. It just creates so much distrust,
Totally.
And then there are those generic robotic responses that some companies give you. You can practically hear the script.
Ugh. Thank you for your feedback. We value your business.
Exactly. No, you don't.
They don't even care about your problem, at all.
You're so right. And, studies actually show that when companies communicate with empathy,
Yeah.
it can make a huge difference.
Really?
Huge. It can significantly increase customer retention rates.
Yeah.
Because it makes customers feel heard and understood, which builds trust and loyalty.
So it's ditch the script and
Yeah.
just be a human. Right.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about something that's become a pretty big deal for customers these days. Personalization.
Yes.
Or should I say, the lack of it.
It's so true. It's not even a bonus anymore. It's just expected. Customers want you to know their preferences, their history, even what they might need in the future.
Right. It's I'm way more likely to buy from a company that's hey, host speaker, welcome back. We remember you like that blue sweater. It makes you feel special.
Absolutely. You feel valued, you're more than just a number in their system.
Right. But then on the other hand, there's nothing worse than being bombarded by those generic marketing emails. So it's like, come on, you clearly don't even know me.
Totally. It just feels lazy, like they're just casting a wide net hoping to catch anyone.
Right. Okay, so let's be real. Things go wrong sometimes.
True.
No business is perfect, but it's what happens when things go wrong that really matters.
And that's where we see what we call issue resolution roadblocks. And this isn't even about a product being broken or service being messed up.
Right.
It's about how the company handles the situation.
Yes, because sometimes the way a company deals with a problem is even more frustrating than the problem itself.
Absolutely. It's like you messed up, fine, but then you're making it worse. It's not enough to just fix the issue, you know? It's about the speed of the resolution, the
Yeah.
empathy you show, and how you communicate throughout the entire process. Customers want to feel heard. They want to be kept in the loop.
So transparency is key here, like taking ownership of the problem and keeping the customer updated.
Exactly. It's the difference between a customer being like, I'm never doing business with you again, and a customer who's like, okay, they messed up, but they made it right.
And those loyal customers are like gold.
Absolutely. Remember, people often judge a company more on how it responds to problems than on the problems themselves.
It's like that saying, it's not about the fall, it's about the comeback. You know, it's funny how one bad experience, like it can really change how you see a whole company, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like they had one job.
It's true.
Ah.
And those negative impressions, they're really hard to shake.
Yeah, they really stick with you.
They do. They do.
But you know what I've noticed? Often it's not just one bad experience, it's like this pattern, you know?
Yes.
Like a bunch of little inconsistencies that just add up over time and make you lose trust.
Exactly.
So let's talk about inconsistency. What does that actually look like in the wild?
Okay, so picture this. You're on a company's website
Okay.
and you find this product and you're like, yes, this is exactly what I need. So you add it to your cart, you're all excited.
I've been there.
Right. But then you decide to call customer service to ask a quick question about shipping, right? And they're like, what product? We don't have a product like that.
Oh, the worst.
Or, you know, when the experience you have in their store is totally different from what's on their website.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's so
Yeah.
frustrating. It's like, which one is it, guys? Make up your minds.
Exactly. And that's the danger of inconsistency right there.
Yeah.
It's so confusing. It makes people lose trust.
Right.
It makes customers doubt the whole brand.
It's like that saying, right hand meet left hand.
Hmm.
They haven't been introduced.
That's a good one. I like that. And the big takeaway here is that customers really crave consistency. They want a smooth, seamless experience, no matter how they're interacting with the business.
So basically, get your act together. Right.
Exactly.
So to wrap things up, it sounds like businesses really need to pay attention to these pain points if they want to keep their customers happy, you know, and coming back for more.
Absolutely. By understanding and addressing these pain points, the waiting game, those complex processes, bad communication, lack of personalization, how they resolve issues, and the inconsistencies. By addressing all of that, businesses can create such better, smoother experiences for their customers.
And happier customers means more money in the bank, right?
Exactly. Stronger relationships, more loyalty, and ultimately, yeah, a healthier bottom line. It's a win-win.
It definitely sounds like it's worth the effort.
It is, because these days, you know, a great product or service, that's not enough anymore.
It
It's the overall experience that really, really matters.
So true. Now, think about a time when you had a really frustrating customer experience. What could they have done differently? And how can you use what we talked about today to make things better, whether you're the customer or the business? Something to think about. Until next time on The Deep Dive.